This week was a full-on intensive engineering week. I'll give you a recap of all the MRs that we interacted with. One of the MRs we spoke about last week, 77590, which sets the protected status of CI wires generated, which is linked to the protected status of the environment they're created for. This MR was reviewed and merged. Thank you to Douglas and Tyler Ramos for the support. The next one is 78712. This merge request grants permissions to the generated GCP service account. The permissions granted specifically, let's have a quick look at them. The roles require IAM, artifact registry, cloud builds, cloud run, cloud storage, and cloud SQL. This is currently open and it will be reviewed and hopefully merged in the coming weeks. The next MR 78875, adds a checkbox to the creation process of service accounts. This is a small one, easy one that has been approved, and will go through the maintainer review. The maintainer is Frederick, and the approver or the first reviewer was Anna Vovchenko. Thank you for approving. And finally, the last MR I worked on last week is 78963. This MR introduces a service that generates the GitLab CI pipeline that uses the cloud deploy job. This is undergoing review process. I need to work at the test coverage as well. For some reason, I've written sufficient tests, but apparently not, so I need to look at that. I'm being helped through the review process by Shashi Kumar, and based on the feedback that I receive, I will make improvements, and this MR is also a top focus for the coming week. Thank you, Shashi, for your help so far. Apologies for going really deep into this update with all the MRs, but as you can see, last week was an extremely busy engineering week. Let's take a step back. In Q3, we were able to get the authentication part sorted out and merged. In Q4, we've seen the deployment to Cloud Run, the one-click config of the pipeline. It's a very smooth experience, it works, but now it's a race against time to get all of these things merged into the main master branch. And finally, once this is done, so we have about 3 MRs opened right now. Probably I'm going to introduce 2 or 3 more in the coming weeks. And once all of this is done, we're ready for the rollout in FY23 Q1.